Good evening. So this is Emmanuel from Amazing Genius Academy. Today we're going to focus on financial mathematics. I'm going to focus on compound interest and simple interest. Let's start with simple interest. So the formula for simple interest is that is A is equal to P open bracket 1 plus I n. So as I was explaining on the previous video that P stands for the principal amount. This stands for the original amount that you've been given. Usually the amount that you've been given at first. Maybe for example they say that you start off with 500 rand or 550 rand on your investment. Therefore you use this one. The amount that you initially start with is P, right? So A stands for the total amount that you get after your investment, meaning that after 5 years, if that's the duration, after 5 years the amount that you get is actually represented by A. Therefore we say we have I is the interest rate that your money increase with or increase by. Therefore we have N is the period that the period of your investment. Let me just say your period will take 5 years. Therefore, that's actually represented by N. So, for example, let's do an example that we have an interest rate. We have been given, like, we have a simple interest rate which increase by P, which is 540 rand, and it's for a period. Now let's just say for a period of 3 years, which you have a percentage. Let me say given percentage of 10.5% for a period of 3 years. You be given 10%, 10.5%, and use simple interest, right? So on this kind of equation, you're going to say that A is the amount that we're looking for. Therefore P is 540. Therefore you open brackets, you say 1 plus the interest rate, which is 10.5. You're going to divide this by 100. Therefore you're going to multiply by N. N is 3 years, meaning that you're going to say 3. So you put this one in brackets, right? So then you do this thing on your calculator, right? At the moment I don't have my calculator, but yeah. So when you get the answer, you're going to put it here, right? So use a calculator to do this thing. So let's just say maybe you've been given a scenario whereby you have to use months. No, this thing, your money 550 rand is actually takes a duration of 6 months or 7 months, right? On the investment, right? On the simple interest investment, we're talking about like 6 months or 8 months. So when you do that thing, it's going to change the formation, but not that much. We're going to say N is equal to 450 open bracket plus 1. Therefore, you're going to open this, then you'll say interest rate. You don't forget that. Then right now, when you multiply, you're going to say 8 months. Let's use 8 months. 8 months over 12. Therefore, that's it. That's the difference. You see? So the months that you're given, if they give you like 12, is it 6 months? You have to, where there is 8, you're going to write 6. Something like that, over 12, because a year has about 12 months, right? So therefore that's it. Therefore you're done. Therefore it's going to give you your answer. So when you do the compound interest, compound interest, let's say compound interest, right? You are going to say A is equal to P, open brackets, 1 plus I, close brackets, then the exponent of n, right? So this is how it is. So you know when a compound interest, the n right now is an exponent. It's no longer multiplied by the interest rate. So we're going to say 540 open brackets plus 1, then the interest rate, which is 10.5, divided by 100 or close bracket. Therefore, let's use the months one, because if now we are using the year, you know that you're going to write 3 year, right? So but now if we are using months, we're going to say 8 over that. So this is important. Sometimes there is an example whereby they say like duration of what, of your investment, is that for the first 8 months you invested for 540 in an interest rate of 10.5. Then for the next coming coming 4 months, we use the interest bargain on the same investment. Maybe let's just say you've increased and added you increase your investment. Now you decided to invest 860 rand. So it's going to be like this. It's going to say plus. I'm going to add plus. Therefore, plus 1 on an interest rate. Maybe let's just say on an interest rate of 5% interest rate. This is not, yeah. Therefore, for the remaining 4 months, right? Therefore, you're going to do it like that. Sometimes you can just maybe use the same interest rate, 10.5, right? It just depends on you. They can use a different interest rate. You see that? So they can just try to manipulate the question so that you get confused. So far I've explained what's the simple interest and also what do you do on the compounded interest.